Everybody ready to go?
Yes.
I'd like to call the City of Richmond meeting to order this September 7th. If everybody please stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this moment, I'd like to take a moment for everybody for honoring Jacob Wetterling and his family. And for tonight's business, first item up is the approval of the agenda for the evening. I believe there's no additions or corrections to the agenda.
Okay, I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Approval of meeting minutes from August 3rd and August 3rd's workshop and August 18th workshop. I did have one correction on the workshop for the 18th on the people present. Katie was marked as not present, and I believe she was here instead of Josh
Josh got in there again.
as a council member.
So we'll get that changed.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any other additions or corrections to the meeting minutes?
I have none. I'll make that motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Approval of the bills to be paid this evening? Is there anything that questions or?
There was a radiator repair from Arnold's. What vehicle was that on? Anybody know?
Well,
I can answer that.
go ahead.
That was for the Kubota. If you recall, we rebuilt that motor in that Kubota about a month, 2 months ago, and I had a little bit of troubles with that overheating, and so I replaced the radiator, and now it took care of the problem. So I bought a new radiator for the old Kubota.
Okay, but the rebuilding was done by
Brand,
River Power,
the motor was rebuilt, and then
whatever had to be done.
Okay.
Any other questions
I have
or
none.
comments? If not, look for a motion.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Consent agenda this evening, Resolution 161-16, approval of August 2016 journal entries. Item B is acknowledgement of People Services August 2016 written report. Item C is Resolution 162-16, approval of donations and contributions for August 2016. Item D, approval of code of conduct. And item E, Resolution 163-16, approval of Richmond Baseball Club liquor license. It's actually for next season, but
That's for next.
they're,
Yeah, see, with the state, you get a year license and it's effective starting in October of this year, but they still are not authorized by the city to use it outside of the April to October timeframe that we give them.
Oh, okay.
And then we will receive the certificate of liability come April also, because it'll be
Gotcha,
for
I
those
just gonna ask
months.
that question, everything was April, okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Why is that one in October?
I don't.
And the other ones are always in July.
And I'm not 100% sure why it is the way it is. If maybe that's when they first applied for it was in that time frame and just continued the yearly of that point. But it's something we can look into.
I'm just saying because, if they were all bundled together.
And the other ones are like a July, so it'd be right in the middle of their season. So maybe it kind of does a baseball season type. So then it ends in October for their seasons. I don't know. But it's something we can look at.
Interesting, okay.
any other questions about the consent agenda?
Make a motion to approve consent agenda as labeled.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Move on to department reports tonight. Public Works. Gordy Dingman.
Good evening, council. So far this year, I'll just give you a little bit up to speed of what's kind of going on. Within the last month or so, 3 weeks, the seal coating has been completed. They came through town, they did the seal coating. I did pick up the sweepings from that seal coating. I did recycle the sweepings from the seal coating. It actually has granite in it, so I recycled it. So I used it and I ran it through our air injection patcher, and I finished that project up within the last week or so. I did run out of oil for their injection patching. I used about 200 gallons of oil. Typically in one season, that's about what I use. I still got the machine in town yet. Whether or not I go back down and MnDOT and pick up a little more oil just to finish the town off, I think that's what I'm gonna have to happen. But so far we're doing real well on that stuff. The parking lot that you approved a month ago, Knife River, I talked to them on Tuesday it was, and they're talking about coming into town in the middle of September, so within 2 weeks. They plan on getting the parking lot tarred and the Fir Avenue tarred, so those two projects will be completed at that time. They assured me it would be getting done by the end of September. However, it brings us back to the sidewalk issue over there. I called 3 of our local contractors. One of them got back to us about getting us a bid. However, we didn't receive that bid yet. So I'm gonna go back to the contractors. Again, I have called these contractors a couple times. Everybody's busy, so they're just not responding right now. If in fact I can't get a contractor loaded, ready to go by the time that parking lot's ready to go, what I plan on doing is we'll tar from the approach into the parking lot, and then at the time when the sidewalk gets put in, we'll just cut that little approach part off, and then we'll just run the sidewalk through. The reason for that is if this winter people driving through, they're gonna come off the tar, go over the curb, through the dirt and onto the tar, and might break the edge of that tar off. So we'll just finish it. It's only 5 feet, and at that time the contractor can, whoever does the sidewalk, can cut that out, and then we'll lay an apron in there and the sidewalk through it. So that's the game plan as of so far.
But it definitely would be a more finished product if they could tar straight up to the sidewalk.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
Because now if they have to put forms in for the sidewalk, there's gonna be 6-8 inches, maybe a foot.
We will still leave the tar in the parking lot where the sidewalk would be. It's just where the cars drive through.
Right.
So you'll still have a finished look when the sidewalk goes through. The sidewalk will go right along the edge of the tar, all that whole 170 some feet. Which brings us to the fall cleaning. Once we get these two streets finished up, the leaves are starting to fall, and so I've been sweeping. I swept again today. We had some rain. I had to quit, but we'll be starting to do a lot of cleaning. The leaves will be falling, and then of course what happens is the catch basin's got to be cleaned up before it freezes up. So we're gonna get into that mode of cleaning up. You guys remember, some of you may remember, about 6 years ago, we cleaned out the detention pond down by the waste treatment plant. And the detention pond is all the stormwater runoff from Main Street, from basically County Road 9 east, runs all the way straight through town, and it goes down to the waste treatment plant. That pond is filling up with settlements, and every once in a while we clean it all out. So what I did was, last time was we rented a skid loader with rubber tracks on it so we don't sink in the mud. We went down, we cleaned it all out. We got a pull-up permit for doing this. So if an event that it starts getting a little bit drier out here, that pond doesn't have wet water in it, we want to start cleaning that stuff out again, because it's almost up to the overflow. And the whole idea behind having that pond is to catch the settlements. So we'll be looking at doing something like that this fall, providing that it dries up down there. And then, of course, the plow truck, I'll be sandblasting that again, and then getting that thing ready to go again for the season. Changing oil and doing all that stuff. So now the fall is the time when you start switching over things. So as of right now, that's all I have, unless you have any questions.
Street light on Main Street.
Street light on Main Street was turned into the insurance company. We did get a quote. The person that Karen's Electric down here, the ones that put the lights up, and we have them on the docket to replace the light. They ordered the light, however, the light might be out. Order is probably about 6 weeks. And once that's in, or the light is in, then they're gonna be putting it back up again. But the insurance was turned in. It was already turned in, so.
Should we have ordered two of them, to make sure that we have one on hand?
The, I don't know. I don't know, it would've, I don't know. If we'd ordered just two of them. They're about a $6,000 light, $5,000 light, so. The total bill is $7,000, so.
Yeah, 7,000 or
The
7,500.
light, I think, was
yeah.
50-some $100, and then that was all the other stuff, so, I don't know.
So you're looking at when one goes out or gets knocked over, whatever, you're looking at probably about 8 to 10 weeks to replace.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. The same thing on Highway 23 is the same thing. Soon as, and the cops do know this, as soon as there's a fender bender with any of our streetlights, we gotta be notified because that is an insurance claim. Same thing with Highway 23. Anytime, I don't care if they even get nicked, but a snowplow has a small dent in it, and they have to be replaced because they're not structurally safe anymore. So.
And
that's what's
then light bulbs, there's a few light bulbs out on the Main Street too.
Okay,
Again,
I know that's
ones
Xcel
that
Energy.
flick on and off that don't always stay
There's
lit.
like 5 of them out in town.
Okay.
There's some on 3rd Street. There's some
Are they
around-
Excel ones?
They're Excel ones.
Okay,
They're
they're gonna.
not ours.
Okay.
Not Main Street.
Excel is going to be switching all of theirs to LED
LEDs.
within the next month. They'll be coming through town and switching all of theirs to LED lights. So
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Tim?
Rudy, on them signs where you did the streets on there, they could be picked up, all those signs, the no parking there and all that.
They should have picked them all up.
They
But
should
there
have
is
done
some
that.
that are, I noticed, yesterday I picked up some stuff right over in the corner here. They fell down,
Right,
and I
okay.
picked that all up, so,
There's still one hanging on the Highland pole on Main Street.
okay,
Yeah, so, but I just wondered if that was, okay.
okay, yep.
Yep.
No, if I notice them, I'll pick them up.
Okay, gotcha. I didn't know if you were doing it or they were doing it. so-
No, they should have been doing it, but.
Okay.
Anybody else have anything for Gordy for this evening? Thank you, Gordy.
Thank you.
At this time, we'll move on to council report for this evening. We'll start off with the EDA. Pat and Mike.
Okay, I can take care of it, thanks. Yeah, the EDA, we had a meeting actually Monday on August 22nd. We went over kind of a few things that we've been talking about on our agenda. One of the things that we still have going on is a piece of property or the lot for sale over on Main Street. We decided to look at some alternative ways that we can maybe do some advertisement to be able to see if we can get some interested parties in that particular lot. We agreed upon adding an additional portion on top of the sign, basically to kind of enhance it a little bit more, I would say. So if anybody knows of possibility of that lot being able to be sold, or if they have any interested parties, any interested businesses that might be, looking for a different relocation or to come into Richmond, please obviously let the city know. We're looking at trying to move that piece of property as fast as we possibly can and get something in there that would be viable for the city. One of the things we talked continually about is our revolving loan fund that the EDA still has available. We also talked about the different areas where the EDA wants to look into a little bit too. We're maybe again looking into different pieces of property that are in and around the surrounding area within city limits. We could maybe try to talk them into, looking at being a piece of land that could be a usable piece of land for the city, where we could maybe look at sewer and water and a couple different pieces of their properties that, can be something that we can maybe hopefully bring and drive some more businesses to come into Richmond. Another thing we also did too is Tesla gave us a list of some current businesses in and around Richmond. So what we did is We divided things up equally within the members, and that we're gonna kind of go out and about to the businesses once again, handing out some informational letters about our revolving loan fund, and a mission statement talking about what it actually is. We're also gonna go around and give some of these brochures out that we've had available through the city, that have always been up in the front area. People can always take a look and see once on, you know, what does the EDA do? And that's one of the questions we're gonna go around to the businesses, and Pat, I think, brought it up at our last meeting. Basically, one important question we wanna ask to the local businesses is, what can the EDA do for you? It's a really kind of simple statement to make, but is there any possibility that we can help them out with any type of thing that they might be interested in doing into their business? Anything from a facade change, you know, to whatever type of things they may be looking for. So we do have some alternatives that can be worked out within the EDA. The other thing we did talk about, so again too, pardon me, I'm sorry. So we're gonna be going around to the businesses. Maybe some of them have already done that already. I don't know, Pat, have you been out and about yet with yours? Okay, he's ahead of the game from myself. I have not been able to get out yet, but I will. And then also, we did talk a little bit about our blue bike update that we've got going on, which is actually over by the bike pavilion. We are still intending to get this thing going. We're trying to figure out still yet by the fall here if we're gonna be able to get a possibility of a shelter built that would be able to cover these particular bikes that are gonna be usable bikes that people can go on the trails and be able to check out if they don't own a bike. So we're hopefully still trying to make this happen, I think, yet this fall. I think Jim Bruner, yeah, pardon me, thank you, Pat. Jim Bruner is the one that's been kind of spearheading this and stuff too. So we're keeping our fingers crossed. We're hopefully, we would like to have it in a little bit sooner than where we've been to currently right now. But again, yeah, we're hopefully going to try to get this up and running yet before some snow flies. Other than that, we have our next meeting, which will be coming up here on the 27th of September, 6:30 up here at City Hall. Again, always open to the public, so if anybody'd like to join in, feel free to come.
Mike,
Pat, do you have anything you need to add that I might have missed?
No.
how about the commercial property? Did I miss that?
We've looked at a couple different commercial.
The one
No.
that was
Gary
brought to,
Oh.
yeah, Hearts.
the one
Oh,
that's in the
yeah,
southeast
yeah,
corner of
thank you,
town.
yeah, right, exactly, yeah, I didn't mention that. Thanks, Tessa. One of the things that we did talk about too was the commercial pizza property, which was actually up and around Highway 23. It was presented to us by the realtor that was looking at selling that piece of property. Wonder if there was something that the EDA might be interested in. I think at this time we decided that we would kind of pass on that particular piece of property, and I don't think it would be something that could work out for what we were looking for tentatively right now. So, yeah. So thank you. That's what. Thanks for reminding me on that one. I had it written down right here.
That's fine. Good.
Slumped it right.
I believe that item we'll bring back up to the council on our workshop, so we can have a little more discussion just with the whole council.
About that commercial piece
Just-
of property in general?
Yes,
Okay. no
just
problems.
so we can give the realtor an answer from the city that what our plans are or not plans are, whichever way we decide.
Well, I think the EDA looked at it as way out of our financial.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 Out of our realm, yeah.
So-
You know, so
Mhm.
we have, we've looked at other pieces of property that we could, basically, that would be easier to develop and more feasibly correct.
Which actually, Jim, I did contact the realtor because he is an old classmate of mine. And I did mention to him that at that time, the EDA would not be interested in doing anything. But if there's anything we can do, actually, either as the city or as the EDA, to help him do some type of enticement to be able to sell that piece of property, for himself, we would definitely help out what we can.
I just
And
want to
what
make
we
sure
can
you.
do.
I just want to make sure you got an answer back from us and not
Yeah,
just sit on
he
it
did.
and not say
He
anything.
got something, so, yep.
All right.
Which
Anybody-
we could have, made a decision tonight too.
Anybody have any other questions for the EDA? Thanks, Mike and Pat.
Thank you.
Moving on to Planning Commission. Tim?
Yeah, we last time we met, basically we just kind of went over on trying to see if there's anything else that we need to button up within the city here. We kind of went through that, listings of anything else that need to be done or taken care of inside here. We also discussed everybody to the next meeting, which will be September 22nd, to come up with some ideas of anything that we need to be brought forward, because like I said, we haven't met for the last couple of months here. And then also go through the comprehensive plan and take a peek at that and make sure that if there's anything that needs to be updated, or also take a look and see if there's things that need to be adjusted in that thing. So, and our next meeting, like I said, will be September 26th or 22nd. Excuse me. In September.
So I was asked by a couple of concerned citizens, not in the city, in the townships, the Southeast project that we had a not informational meeting, not a public hearing. According to the Planning Commission, that is now dead.
Yep.
That's what they want to be reassured.
Yeah.
From
Unless something else comes up at
Well,
this time.
Yeah, I know the township. I thought maybe there might be some ideas. I did meet with them. They were going to take their stuff to Planning Commission to see if there's any way that those who may need it residential wise. It was very clear that commercial wise it was not wanted, needed, or anything. But
Except the one woman.
right, but there are some residential people that are coming back saying that they do need it. So. It's kind of at that point, do we want our planning commissions working on it together between township and the city to see, do our due diligence to check any and all options? I know in the past it was whether there's annexation or not is going to be the deciding factor on things, but it's kind of up to you guys as far as if you want us to put any more time and effort into this. So something to think about. I was planning on putting it on for the workshop to discuss
Okay.
more.
Perfect.
So,
Right.
no, I don't plan on going and knocking on anybody's doors at
No,
this
they were
point.
just wondering
Right.
that they didn't have to watch for public hearings or anything else. And I
No.
basically assured them that if it was going to be involving them, they would receive
They
either a
would.
register letter or a letter of some type personally
Yeah.
before any
Yep.
action
Oh
was
yes,
taken.
definitely. Just like before.
But nothing as of right now. And so, like I said, everybody's been brought to on the commission to come back, and if there's anything else that they feel that we need to be brought up. One of the things too was that we had talked about any future housing or something. So.
If we can do any developments.
Yep.
Any other questions for Tim on the Planning Commission? Move on to Ricori Trail.
Me again. We met on September 1st, last Thursday. It is official that we'll be signing the agreement with the railroad that will be done on October 27th, I think it was, or October
Something
31st. Either one. It was one of those 2 days that anyway that it will be taken care of. It'll become the Ricori Trail. After that, the tracks, they'll have 180 days. Which to remove those, that'll be about 1.5 miles. It'll start from Mill Street to the 235th Street, which is that cul-de-sac right before the bend outside of Rockville, west of Rockville there. So it'll go from there to there, and so they'll pull that up. And the rest of the tracks they have until they have a year after that to do that. And but they're hoping that they'll continue to keep pulling that sooner than that. But that's what's listed with the railroad right now that they want to do.
That's where things are at, yeah.
Funding wise, with the Greater Minnesota Regional Parks and Trails, we didn't so far. We're in the medium class, which means right now we're not the head of the class, and this is a thing that's reviewed by what they call an E-team, and so.
Heidi was going to meet with them.
Heidi was going to go back and meet with them and find out what they meant by medium and why we weren't up on the top, because it is a very important trail, and they had some of the stuff that listed. It came back and said that it was a great trail and great things, and it was connecting with the cities and doing great things. But then again, they said, well, there's other trails in the area, which we don't understand what that means. So. And our next meeting there is October 6th in Rockville at 9 o'clock.
So, just refresh me again here, Tim, from where our next stage is gonna go. Is it gonna go, from, the ending where it is currently right now in Cold Spring, all the way to that cul-de-sac area?
No.
Or is it gonna go from the
Cul-de-sac
cul-de-sac
to Rockville.
to Rockville?
Yes, sir.
So it's still gonna be that,
There'll still be that grip between the river there, and that's the
that
issue.
still will not be.
That's not going to be. That's going to be the next phase after that because of
Funding.
it's funding.
Got it.
It's funding. We can get more done with what's done from Rockville to that cul-de-sac right now.
Okay.
Because of there's a lot of work that needs to be done between I basically could say Keys from Keys to cul-de-sac.
Cul-de-sac,
Thank you.
okay.
Thank you.
Like four in front there, okay.
It's going along real well. Everybody's well pleased. Like I said, we got this very well done, so everybody's pleased there. So
All right, thanks.
Any other questions for Tim about the Recording Trail? Thanks for your report.
Yep.
At this time, is there any other council action for this evening? Is there any other matters or related items? Pat?
Just a reminder that Sunday, September 11th, which is this Sunday, there will be dedication of the monument in Rockville for the local armed services, law enforcement, first responders, and fire. I'm not quite sure of the time, but I'm sure if you contact City Hall here, they would have the time.
I think it's 1 p.m.
it's 1 p.m.
So that dedication will be taking place then. I understand that there is quite a program planned for that.
Right there on the front.
There's a bus that's leaving at noon.
Yeah, they asked us to when we were at Recording Trail. They asked us to park. They're going to want you to park in the city, down by the city, and they will bus them out.
Yep.
Because there's going to be such limited parking and roadway there for cars, so they'll have buses that'll shuttle everybody back and forth from out there. So
Yep.
Where is that located in Rockville?
We're at the fire hall.
by the fire hall
By the
there.
fire hall.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what they'll do is they'll have buses that'll shut you. They got lined up that'll shut you from downtown there in the ball field area. Yep. So.
Yep.
And that'll, like I said, it starts at
The first bus starts at noon, but the
Noon.
program starts at 1.
1. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Anything else? I do have two.
Go ahead. I just got a reminder, like I said, school starts, so, we just asked, of course, that started the other day, so please, everyone, watch out for kids. They're all running across the streets, so.
I do have two little items. One is October 18th. Richmond is hosting the Stearns County Municipal Meeting here in town, and it'll be at St. Peter and Paul Commons area. And Tessa will be getting out more information. And I believe it starts at
6 or 6:30.
And the other thing I thought was a nice sight on Sunday, on Labor Day Sunday, there was like 30 plus bikers that they parked their bicycles just like Harleys right out in front of Winners. It looked kind of cute. I took a picture and posted it on Facebook. I thought it was kind of and I talked to a few of them, and they go run down the trail. This is their second time they've done it. They go run down the trail. They go to Roscoe, come back to Richmond. They go to Cold Spring. Kind of make a day out of it. So that was kind of neat use of the trail. Nice to see people using it. Is there anything else for this evening? Otherwise, meeting is adjourned.